Time now for Hawk Zone, sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
The Seahawks improved to 10-3 on the season after a dominating win over the Atlanta Falcons. Terry Holloman joins me in the Hawk Zone, as he always does, to break this one down. And the Seahawks offense got off to a sluggish start, but in the second half, the momentum really shifted because of a kickoff return.
Absolutely. The special teams were very special, and it started right there in the second half with a big-time kickoff return from a guy we brought in here from the New Orleans Saints, Rashid Shaheed. This guy was incredible. 100 yards on a kickoff return. Matter of fact, the only 100-yard kickoff return in the NFL this year. This kid is explosive, quick, fast, and that's the reason why we brought him here.
Well, I was so excited when we got him, and I was waiting I did not think that I was going to get a 100-yard kickoff return, but I will take it.
So one of the things, before we get off of Rashid, is that one of the things that people don't take into consideration when it comes to football, and it's the X factor, is momentum. Big Mo. It happens often in NFL games and turns the tides of games. And that momentum that the Seahawks got there at the second half really switched the trajectory of this game.
It definitely made all the difference. And I want to talk about our QB, Sam Darnold. He made some adjustments, got things going in the second half. What really stood out to you on offense? Well,
again, you talk about some of the adjustments that Sam Darnold made. We look back to the previous week, JSN didn't have the production that we were looking for, right, that the Seahawks wanted. He only had 2 catches. So I think their goal coming into this game was to get JSN off to a good start quickly, to get him back in the game, get Sam Darnold and him on the same page. So they were kind of forcing him the ball a little bit. Second half, they said, nah, we're going to adjust. We're going to dump the ball down to some other players, use our run game. And that ended up freeing JSN to have some spectacular catches in the second half. So those kind of adjustments helped these guys get that big win.
Along with the momentum, like you said.
Big Mo.
Could just feel that excitement and then that shift. I want to talk about defense, too. Our players are playing lights out here. What do you think?
Listen, these guys are exactly like you said, playing lights out. This is the best defense we've had in Seattle since the LOB. And I actually was going to ask a question of all the King 5 New Day viewers out there. We know who the LOB is, right? Because they got a name. They're their entire entity. These guys need a name.
We do.
We got to come up with a name, New Day, for these guys. And we can send it off to the coaching staff, to the players, to see what they want to be called. But these guys are, again, you watch them, they're bend but don't break. They're more than bend but don't break. They're very opportunistic. They take the ball away. They get after the quarterback. And for the second week in a row, they kept the opposing offense out of the end zone. No touchdowns, 2 weeks in a row.
I couldn't believe it. That final score of 37-9 is huge for us.
When you think about this, Kelly, in the first half, it was 6-6.
I know.
I know a lot of fans were out there watching the game like,
we were stressing.
Snooze fast a little bit.
But I was stressing, too. I'm like, what? How are we tied?
Against the team that we were supposed to beat, right? But again, like we say every week, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. And so these guys came in with a good game plan. They have good players over there as well. Fortunately for us, we got better players.
We sure do. And I want to talk about your best player. Who was your player of the game?
Oh, yeah. So it could have been, it was no competition.
No contest?
Nick Emanwori was out of control in this game. This guy was all over the field on defense. He blocked a field goal. He had a sack. He had 2 tackles for losses and an interception. The only thing he didn't do was throw a touchdown pass to himself. And that was the only way this game could have been any better for this guy. Just to show you how good of a game he had, I was scrolling down social media this morning, and I saw some clips of his play. And I was like, who posted this? Cam Chancellor.
No.
Cam Chancellor reposts you. You've done an incredible job as a safety.
I feel like that's the biggest compliment you could get as a safety, hands down.
Any better.
Oh, we do have to come up with a name. LOB, we need a new name.
We're asking you guys right now.
We are.
Send in your email.
DM us. Their last 4 games, too, the Seahawks are against teams all, look at that, with winning records.
Yeah.
First up are the Colts. What do we need to know?
So the Colts started off the season with so much promise. They had an incredible franchise quarterback that they got, Daniel Jones. But 2 things happened. One, they've gone up on the rocks because they've lost 4 out of the last 5 games. That's struggle. Then in the last game they played against the Jacksonville Jaguars, not only did they get trounced, but they lost the quarterback. They lost their franchise quarterback to a season injury, Achilles injury, so he's done. They're going to have to play a rookie 6th-round draft pick at quarterback. Riley, he's going to struggle here when he comes to Seattle. That being said,
I know. What are your bold predictions then? We must talk about your bold predictions.
Well, see, now again, so if they would have been at full strength and in a better situation, it might have been bold. But I think the Seahawks, again, win running away. I think the Seahawks are going to win by 14 points. I think right now they're favored by like 10. But I feel like it's going to be 14 points. I feel like the defense is going to be opportunistic. I said before that they were going to get 3 interceptions a couple weeks ago.
You did.
I think they're going to get 3 turnovers again this weekend. And I think this is going to be bold.
At home, too. This is great.
And this is the bold part. I think Julian Love is going to get one of those interceptions. Now that's really putting it on the 9 right there, right?
Oh my gosh, it really, he deserves it. Yeah. I just saw him on social media with his award nomination. I want to talk too. Did you see who was on the sidelines working as an AP photographer?
Oh, no.
Ken Griffey, the Ken.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Ken Griffey. So I do know that Ken has been working with some of my friends in the area that are in the photography business that are really, really, really good. So it looks like he's really taking it to the next level.
I love that this is doing his next dream, his next chapter is so exciting there. And we use AP photos a lot here in these segments. And so some of what you see in these segments could be taken
from
Ken Griffey Jr. himself. So cool.
I mean, you got to do something in your retirement, right? I mean, you might as well go take pictures, right?
I think so.
I'm sure he's probably not struggling for money or anything like that. But it is a passion. I know a couple of guys that were ex-athletes that have dived deep into the photography business, and they really love it.
Oh, you're amazing. And Ken Griffey's amazing.
I love
that we ended on that.
Yep.
I love him.
Yep.
Thank you for being here, my
Absolutely.
friend. And in 2026, the legendary Mexican band Bronco is bringing their unforgettable energy to the Muckleshoot Casino on February 28th. Experience the hits, the passion, and the show that has captivated fans across generations. Don't miss your chance to sing along live with Bronco for one night only. Visit the website that you see right there on your screen for ticket information.